You're listening to Alien.
Radio show.
Greeting everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
And today is News Roundup 374 with a warning alert from LEN. I'm confusing. Why are you warning us to read News Roundup 374?
Because
So
I
this
only
is
just
give us-
posted it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
This
explain.
give us
I posted it today. You haven't read it yet.
yeah.
And the final story is quite controversial.
Final?
Although you might not know it. Well, there you go.
Controversial.
That's fine. Controversial, yes. Let me
What do you
spell it.
mean?
Controversial. It's not obviously controversial, but when you understand what the story is about.
Independence Cares.
So I think Alexa, did you read it?
No, not. I started by. I didn't copy it all.
That's okay. You can.
I
Okay.
got too lazy to take.
Just click on the
vocabulary.
link. It will take you to the.
I had already.
Okay.
So
So Aladdin, your choice. I've put in a parental advisory, and now we can read and discuss News Roundup.
you see, okay. You see, the final one is okay. I will give you the final one.
And you can explain, please.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
So yeah. Okay. News Roundup 374. And here we go. The Guardian reports that a couple of metal detectors have been jailed for theft in the UK after they failed to report a significant find. A hoard of gold jewelry, silver ingots, and coins buried more than 1,000 years ago by a Viking warriors in Herefordshire. By law, they should have declared the fine, estimated to be worth as much as £20 million, but instead they began showing it to dealers to try sell some of it off. Only 31 coins have since been recovered, but a couple of those depict two rulers side by side, King Alfred the Great of Wessex and the lesser known Ceolwulf II of Mercia, the two emperors. Coins indicated there was an alliance between the two kingdoms, which would rewrite British history. As discussed in a previous sessions, only buried treasures you find in the UK has to be handed into a corner who decide whatever it is treasures trove. The finder and the landowner may then be rewarded. These guys acted like true Vikings and looted the lot. So the first news about Viking.
Yeah,
Interesting.
this is about Vikings. A Viking hoard. Yeah, a hoard. Basically buried treasure. You understand what buried treasure is, yeah? In the UK, we have things called metal detectorists. Do you know what a metal detector is, yeah?
Yes, no.
It has sensors to, right? Is
Yeah,
that
well,
this kind of
basically
sensor?
you can get this piece of equipment that will detect metal underground.
Underground.
Okay.
And
And metal
digging
detect That's it, you have to dig it up. And metal detectorists, in fact, there's a whole TV comedy series which is very sweet called The Detectorists. And it's nothing to do with crime or murder or anything. It's purely about metal detectorists in the UK. And they go around and they usually, I say usually, ask for permission from the landlord or the landowner if they are allowed to do some detecting on their land. Now, these guys didn't ask for permission. No, they didn't ask for permission, but they actually accidentally stumbled across a huge hoard of treasure from Anglo-Saxon times, which is like 1600s, I think. Don't quote me on that, I'm not a history teacher. They dug it up, and instead of reporting it, one to the landowner and two to the coroner. Now, the coroner in the UK usually deals with deaths, but for some reason, you have to report any significant find of any ancient artifacts to the coroner, and they then decide whether you can be rewarded for your find, whether it's treasure trove, whether it belongs to you, whether it belongs to the land. They decide who it belongs to and who should be rewarded for the find. They didn't do any of that. They put the lot into maybe a plastic Tesco's carrier bag and ran away with it. And then they tried to sell it. Now, there's a problem with selling anything like this. It's very rare.
It's also
it's very old.
called,
It's very rare.
Schwarzmarkt.
The black market, yes.
Black market, also
Yeah,
black market.
on the black market. Okay. But they didn't really use the black market. I don't think they knew what they were doing, to be honest. They went to dealers, okay? And they said to these dealers, oh, I found a couple of coins. But these coins were so rare that the rumours started to go around that somebody had found something very significant. And the significance is these coins depicted an alliance between King Alfred the Great, who's very well known, and King, I have no idea how you pronounce his name, Ceolwulf of Mercia. I don't know. I
feel better now.
It's England.
No, I'll be honest. Ceolwulf, I don't know. But anyway, he was from Mercia, which used to be an area in the UK, in England, basically. This was when England was full of tribal areas. There was Mercia, if you've watched Vikings, the TV series, you'll recognise Wessex, Mercia, these areas. Each one had a king. There wasn't a king of England. There were little kings in all these different, they were like warrior barons, to be honest. They were like warrior kings. And they were, I'm king, and killed anybody who said, no, you're not. So these guys dug up this treasure, and if you have a look online, some of it's beautiful. But instead of handing it in and saying, look what we found, I think maybe because they didn't have permission to dig up on the land, they panicked, and then they realised how much it was worth. So they kind of said, oh look, we found a couple of coins. They didn't, they found hundreds of coins.
For these guys. It was
lot of jewelry.
Setbacks. They perhaps tend to be a rich man, but now
they're in prison.
It's what
for a long time. Well, it was worth millions. What they found was worth around, they think, £15 million. Sadly, as the story says in the report, they didn't actually recover all of what they found. Some of it's gone into the black market. The greedy collectors, the people who think
it's still possible to find something rare.
Yeah, they will do their best, because this was it wasn't just a discovery of gold, it was a discovery of British history. It could, as the story says, rewrite British history because of the coins that showed this alliance between the very well-known King Alfred the Great and the lesser well-known, don't know how to pronounce his name because I've never heard of him before, Ceolwulf, I have no idea.
The coroner is like
the
a
coroner. The coroner. Yeah, it's really weird. I didn't know about this, because when you say to me the coroner, that's where you report death. Okay,
yes.
So the coroner is the person who decides whether somebody died of not natural causes, whether they were murdered, whether they were suicide. But seemingly in British, whether it's a crime or not. But seemingly in British law, you also have to report these kind of findings. If you come across a sudden huge amount of money or a huge amount of buried coins, Roman, historic, you have to report it to the coroner. Detectorists know this, allegedly. I had no idea. I'm not a detectorist. I don't go out in the fields with a metal detector going beep, 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 beep. But no, there is a BBC series called The Detectorists. It's lovely. I really recommend it. If you can find it online, do watch it. It's very gentle British humour about metal detectorists, and it's really well written, really well acted.
Mostly
It's
what
surprisingly
they are
addictive.
founding it's rubbish. Or
Well, yeah, they find bottle tops and buttons.
I said no spoiler.
No spoilers, no, absolutely. There are no zombies in it, Aladdin, okay?
according to the Sun, a study conducted by World Health Organization has found that children in South Korea, the Philippines, and Cambodia are the most inactive children in the world, and children in Bangladesh, Slovakia, Ireland, and the US are the most active. But never fear British girls are flying the flag, as they are among the most inactive in the world. 5.4% of girls in the UK do not reach the recommended hour of moderate to vigorous activity daily. Girl power. So what counts as moderate to vigorous activity? An hour on the following every day will count. Running, cycling, swimming, football, hopping, skipping, and gymnastics. It's all.
Yep.
What is
Very good.
What is skipping?
Skipping. Oh, hang on. I just dropped the G for some reason. Have you ever had, you hold a rope, one end of the rope in one hand, in your left hand, the other end of the rope in your right hand, and then you swing it round your head and you jump over it. That is skipping. Okay?
Okay.
It's like a jumping rope.
Yeah, it's like jumping. Yeah.
Nice.
Jumping over a rope.
Okay.
But
Okay?
with two person. Okay, I got it.
Okay. You need to
This is
practice
called
your
skipping?
numbers, Alexandra.
What?
85.4%. You should see that number. See that number, and you just know it's 85.4% without thinking about it. Practice your numbers.
It's
Okay?
not. It's not easy.
Oh, it's very easy. I learned to do it when I was 5.
Oh, you're lucky.
I know.
I'm not.
I'm joking. I'm teasing
Yes.
you. I'm teasing you. Okay, then you've got the US and the UK. U, not U. US, UK.
US.
And UK?
It's also UK or
The UK and the US, yeah. The United States and the United Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Okay.
It's not the same.
No. The United States is where Trump is the president. The United Kingdom is where Boris Johnson is the prime minister.
I mix.
They are not as.
I mix
They're
this
not the
was
same.
this was two.
This is.
And WHO. It's not.
She did WHO perfectly. World Health Organization.
Yeah.
That was
World
really well done. I
Health
was very impressed,
Organization.
Alexandra.
Why?
Yeah.
I did heard this news yesterday on BBC
Aha, good.
on TV. It was the reason
Good.
I wanted to read this.
Okay, I got you. Okay, now the other word was moderate. To moderate is a verb, and it means like Aladdin is moderating this session. But moderate is also an adjective, which means not extreme. So moderate temperature would be a middle kind of temperature between 20 and 30. Extreme temperatures are like 40 to 50. Okay, so moderate as an adjective and to moderate as a verb. They totally different meaning, totally different pronunciation, sadly the same spelling. It's the third story that's
Okay, go ahead.
a little bit dodgy. So I will read this and then you can ask me. Well, you can tell me if you know what it's about first. Or you can ask me, why is it newsworthy? Okay, so meanwhile, TripAdvisor suspended reviews for the Pizza Express restaurant in Woking because people were posting reviews like this. Pizza Express Woking is like no other Pizza Express. It's a memory which will never disappear once you visit the Woking branch. It's amazing the lasting effect the pizza can have on you. The pizza is so good from this specific branch, it gives you the ability to not only remember what year you visited, but the exact day and month. Truly incredible. Second review, love this place. I had a cracking pizza here in 2001. I remember it was 2001 because it was very strange. The guy next to me had an American hot pizza with extra chilies. Not a drop of sweat came off him. Very odd. And the final one, and another. This branch treats you like royalty with its fine service. Why eat like a tramp when you can dine like a prince instead?
What?
Okay, why
What
did I
is
warn you?
fake
if you're asking, hang on, the end
fake
bit.
reviews?
If you're asking yourself, hang on, let me finish. If you're asking yourself, why are people leaving these reviews? You need to keep up with the news. So do you know, why is it controversial? Why did I warn you at the beginning? You might not want to read this.
So,
I didn't
Any
understand.
idea?
I think it was fake reviews, or I don't know.
Well, they are
I-
fake reviews, but why? There are lots of fake reviews on the internet. Why would...
Because you can buy these reviews.
Yeah,
can
but they're
buy
very
these reviews.
specific. Why? I mean, what kind of a review is it that somebody was eating a very hot chili pepper pizza, a really hot chili pizza, and didn't sweat? Why would somebody write a review that you'll never forget this experience?
Because it was
in
very,
Pizza Express?
very hot, very.
Maybe, yeah. And why would they say you're treated like a prince? You don't watch the news much, do you guys?
I'm thinking, but it's.
Okay? Yeah, go on. It's really controversial, I warn you. Allegedly. Have you seen the BBC interview?
No.
There was a BBC interview this week. It wasn't anything to do with pizza, but this Pizza Express in Woking came up during the interview. And the interview was to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein is a convicted sex offender in the US. Okay, he died recently. He allegedly killed himself in his prison cell. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists that say he didn't kill himself, that he was murdered. However, this week, a member of the royal family, who was a well-known friend of Jeffrey Epstein and spent much time with him after he'd been convicted of being a sex offender, before he was re-imprisoned, was interviewed by the BBC. It was the most disastrous interview in the history of royal interviews. And since then, this particular member of the royal family has had to step back from all royal duties. That's all I'm saying, okay? Because I don't want to be taken to court. It's all alleged, it's all allegedly, but it's very current, and that is why this Pizza Express is being mentioned, and now TripAdvisor has blocked any more reviews because the prince used Pizza Express as an alibi and said he didn't sweat because of something that happened whilst he was in active service. He also said he could specifically remember this particular day.
I know, this was
Don't name any names. Don't name any names. I can't afford them.
It was
Alexandra.
in Germany news today.
Absolutely, it's all over the world. And this is a shout out to Hermina. Hermina, if you ever listen to this recording, if you ever watch the video that Aladdin might put on YouTube, all I can say is, I told you so. There is a reason I do not and never will be a royalist. It's poisonous. Anybody who's called Prince, Mom, Majesty, whatever, it's absolutely poison to the soul. So anyway, that's the story, Aladdin. I've just posted it. When you give people this kind of glow of they are them because of who they're born into, and they're, somehow this wonderful, you put them on a pedestal, you put them high up above everybody else, you're just asking for the kind of abuse of power that happens no matter what country you're talking about, no matter what political system you're talking about. You give people that kind of distance from everyday life, and they start to believe their own mythology. They start to believe they can do no wrong. They start to feel entitled. And I'm not at all surprised this has happened, honestly. Anyway, I'm not going to say anymore because, one day I might want to go back and live in the UK.
And finally, let's get into the silly Christmas season. The Independence carries a story that the town of Marmot in Hampshire had forgone the traditional Christmas tree in favor of 16th neon marmor. Was es vorhanden? The marmor, complete with air-move and skis, has been nicknamed Marmot the Marmot because you will either love it or hate it. A spokesperson, Clegg Lee Coney, said, "We used to have a traditional tree, but some people would say it was boring, so we thought we do something quickly." The design was chosen to bring a smile to people's face, particularly children, and added that it had already received more than 25,000 views on Facebook. Someone needs to tell them that views on Facebook aren't always a positive sign.
So I like.
Very good.
I didn't
understand.
I didn't understand. It was a Christmas of Marmot.
Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's a Christmas tree in a place called, it's not called
60 feet
Marmot, but it will be. It's a place
neon.
called Alton. Okay, let me just be clear.
Okay.
That was my little play. I'm going to show you what this Christmas Marmot looks like now. Okay.
I like this. I like your comment on the news. By the way.
Yes.
Someone to tell them. Need to tell them
Okay,
that
so
on
this is the
Facebook and
Christmas
it's always
Marmot.
positive sign, right?
Marmot.
A marmot. It's
What-
nothing. I don't
what
think
is
we
it?
have them in England.
What
It's
is
a
it?
rodent. It's a rodent. I've seen them, but only in the Pyrenees and the Alps. They're like an alpine rodent.
It's a mice.
yeah?
It's a mice.
It's bigger than a mouse, and they
Wow.
squeak a lot. Yeah, it's. Let me show you the picture of and I've seen these guys in the Pyrenees. They're very cute. They drove my dogs nuts because they go all the time, and they pop out of their hole.
Thank you for,
Thank you.
reading the news and comment about it. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you,
now you know
Osbo.
what
Thank
I
you,
was talking
Aladdin.
about at the beginning now.
Yeah.